Okay, while I do have a complete lithium bike at my disposal, I will take the chance to discuss using the CAN bus cable and the diagnostic software to do various useful things. First off, I'll start off by showing you how to do a firmware update. So if I get the camera on the computer. Now there's two versions of the Scooter Diag software that I can get hold of at least. One's version 1.1, the other one's version 2.1. Version 1.1 is the best for doing updates. It'll give you this error, don't worry about it. Alright, now this is the bike off. When it's all plugged in, you turn the bike on. CAN goes green, lots of green lights appear, and the temperature sensors start reporting the temperature in every single cell. Now, being a lithium battery, it's pretty well straight across the board, 19.2 degrees Celsius. The temperature sensors do have a bit of variance between them. On the one that's 19.7, I was actually soldering on that a little while ago, so it's still going to be a bit warmer than the rest. No idea why that one's so cold, 17.2 degrees. Don't know, maybe it's because I've got it in a different voltage section of the pack. Anyway, firmware updates. Version 1.1 will tell you exactly what's on the bike at the moment. This one's already fully updated, so it's got the 3001 for the battery charger, and it's got the 68 mile an hour version of the motor controller. But what I'll do is I'll go through what's involved in doing an update. Basically you go to Browse, and go hunting for your firmware update. I've got it stuffed in somewhere. Oh, there we go. Hit Open, then you go to Program. Now, it'll ask you for 3 files, or hex files. It's not very smart, so I can't look for it for itself. I may even have these supplied separately. Scooter Diag. You'll be under Flash, under Scooter Diag, and be there. It'll ask you for the ERA hex file, same spot, and the program hex file, again, same spot. And basically that's all there is to it. I mean, for the rest of them it's much the same, but you would really only ever get to do the battery charger, and if your bike's really, really ancient, you might have to do the ICM as well. But you don't get to do that too often, I don't think. Okay, moving on. Version 2.1 is best for everything else, so I'll fire that one up. Scooter Diag. Sometimes when switching between the programs while the CAN bus is still active, it won't work for you, but today I must be lucky it did work for me. Right, onto the MC charger tab. You'll see a bunch of options. Setting your fuel gauge, 255. If you just look at the fuel gauge now, it was at 149, so 149 is a bit over half bars. No.
Sorry.
It's alright. There we go. That's alright, we can make that out. Alright, back to the screen. If I tell it 255, hit send. And look it back. It goes full bars. Very easy to sort this out. So, you know, if at the start of the conversion you didn't ride a red battery light and your battery's full, that's the easy way of fixing it. Whoop. Now you got other options. You can force the capacity to 30 amp hours. Basically you just hit send and it does it. It's very straightforward. What that's doing, if I look over to my bit of handwriting, is to memory location 0x9C and 0x9E, it's putting 003 in 09C and 6060 in 9E. The way we get to it is basically the amp hours you want, multiplied by 7376, you end up with a decimal number of that. It works out to, in hexadecimal, 0036060. Now, those of us who don't have calculators built into our brains, Windows has a very good one already done for us. So you pretty much do 30 times 7376 equals, whoops, helps if I'm doing it in decimal first. It's got to be in the scientific mode, so you have all these extra options. So 30 times 7376 equals that. You flick it over to decimal, hexadecimal and gives you 36060. Now, you can do this manually. Using the send button will do it 10 times faster than this. But what you can do is you go to MC address here, type in 0x9NC, and then in data you want 003. Yep, right. So it could come up with that. See? OX3. It's all looking good. And in E, you can go read. You can see what's there originally, so you want to know what capacity your bike thinks it is. You might be worth having a look. You can calculate backwards. And that's already correct. It's best to put the 0x and then the 6060 in first, but the this version of software already assumes you're putting in hexadecimal, so it's all good. Alrighty. So if you've got 50 amp hour cells, then that might be a bit on the short side, so we're going to test now to see if we can go above that. Now, for those of you who run metal hydride batteries currently, if you've got a good battery, you would probably want to set it to about 20 amp hours. So that would be 20 times 7376, I think it was. Show over to hexadecimal. So that's 24040. So this one you would want to see being 4040, hit right, and then over in the C side you want 002, right. Okay, so that's 20 amp hours. Pretty straightforward. You can set up pretty much whatever you want between 0 and that maximum, 003 FFFF. Now, on the when you got the diagnostic software up, you know, aside from mucking around with what's in the memory addresses, you can change the date of service, so you can keep track of when you were last servicing your bike. But you can also have a look at various other things that's been measured since you last did a firmware update. So for instance, it'll give you average battery capacity, so the amount of capacity your battery's done on average between full charge and low battery light. It'll also give you how many amp hours you used ever, how many you've used on your last charge, and on the newer version of the software it also gives you averages, so your average distance to a charge, you know, average amount you've recharged, there we go, number of opportunity charge cycles. On this bike it's been 3600 times, number of deep discharge cycles, you know, 1000. When you put a new battery, it's usually a good chance to clear all these so that you can have the data from the battery, not for the entire bike. If you want to go really technical, what you can do is you can ride around with a laptop in your boot, keep data logging various things like, you know, the capacitive temperatures in your controller, how much current you're drawing, you know, how fast you're going, all sorts of things. I've never really got that to work. What it does is it spits it out in a comma-separated value format. So you can open it up in Notepad or you can open it up in Excel. But the amount of data it generates, it's substantial. It's sort of a bit beyond what Excel can deal with. Excel can only deal with about 63,000 values. Stop filming, please.